Minus X minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
Here we are. We're back. We're coming at you blinkers off style, meaning just a little bit late this morning, but I feel like it wasn't our fault. We had 100 scratches. We had to update the products. We had to get ready for this show. But Ricky, we're here. We're off the turf. But you know what? You know what the good news is? At least we know before the races start, we're off the turf, right?
That's true. That is true. We just said off air. It's just so much easier when you get these types of situations, especially for us, because you could circle your MTOs, you're also eligibles, like the horses you're interested in, and then if they scratch, or then you could rank them, right? You could keep it, and then if they're not in, then you move to your next one, whatever. It just makes it so much easier, because yesterday we were talking about horses that never hit the track, which is unfortunately a waste of everyone's time, even though a lot of people cashed tickets because they watched again for the second straight day. 6 days for us, though. I will be seeing you in 6 days. It's probably like 6.5 days with the time, but it's close. We'll be there for Whitney weekend. This is our last show of the week, so there's a lot to get into. Stakes action we'll get into, so it's going to be another fun episode.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We got a lot of stakes action coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about that after we talk about the late pick four today at Saratoga, which features the Curlin Stakes. Like I said, we got a couple off the turf races, but at least we know beforehand. Yesterday, we were talking about races on the turf on this show, and unfortunately, about an hour after we got off the air, it opened up at Saratoga, to say the least, and started pouring. So we got the off-turfers. We got all the picks ready for you. Like I said, it was still a pretty good day yesterday for people that listened to the Rocket Hour. So hopefully we keep it going. All right, Ricky, let's transition. Oh, hold on. You got something to say?
Yeah, quick. No, I have a quick question for you, and anyone else chime in as well. It's real quick.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have what happened yesterday, where they took it all off after they tried to keep it on, which was ridiculous? Like I've always said, just anticipate it. Or there are other times when I said it was going to rain where it didn't rain, and I ended up being wrong. So anyone chime in what they rather have. Would they rather just be anticipatory and anticipate what's going to happen, or just let it play out like that and it's a bad situation? What would you do? Perfect world. What would you have happen?
Perfect world, I would just always make the right decision every time.
Well, I mean, sure.
I would buy a crystal ball and I would gaze into it and know exactly what to do. I'll answer this. At Saratoga, take them off. We never get lucky at Saratoga. At Belmont, keep them on.
Right, well, that's all right. That's terrible. That's a bad answer. You're the only person who can come up with a bad answer. Mark says sloppy and off always makes for chalk or interesting bump. Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying take it off. Just do it. Like, because it's going to rain. This isn't 1905 where you have to stick your finger in the air to see if it's going to rain and engage wind. I mean, we have weather radars. I don't know what we're doing. 99 times out of 100, it's going to be rain. So I was just interested. Everyone chime in. Would you rather have it be taken off in advance or let it play out where they got one turf race off? It clearly wasn't a firm turf course. I don't even know what that was. It was probably yielding. So I don't really know what that was, but interesting.
On the smaller days, you might as well just take them off. You really like yesterday, for example. And I know Saratoga, it's every day, it's a big blah, blah, blah. But still, on the days where you're not running the stakes, there's really no reason to hold them in. Exactly. And yeah, Mark, you're at Ellis Park today. Just updated Ellis Park scratches, not very many. So that's very good. You're going to have good weather there for sure. That's good news. Everywhere it seems like the weather's not too bad, except there at Saratoga. It rained a ton. So
before we get into today's racing, the one thing you brought up is if there's a stakes race on the turf, then we have a different conversation. But we did it yesterday. So to your point, Everything else at the best is an AOC or an allowance. Just take it off and let people make their decision. It also gives the trainers and connections, the advantage of we have more time to make a logical choice as well. So,
well, and a lot of times, if it's at Saratoga, a lot of not there's a couple of races today that aren't great, but it's still, even when they come off, they keep a lot of horses in sometimes that maybe they wouldn't at other places, because it's still like, well, we got a shot still. It's Saratoga. It's still a big race to win. So, I think it was maybe Wednesday or Thursday of last week when it rained, the races were still pretty good that were taken off. So, especially Saratoga, I think you err on the side of caution. Look, what happened yesterday's bad, because then you have alls, in race 3 and 5 in that early pick 5, because they took it off after the sequence started. That's really rough. But anyway, no worries about it today, right? They didn't really have a choice. They had to take all the races off. It is going to be a beautiful day at Saratoga, so that's good. Let's get into it. Race 7 is where we'll start. Like I said, going to be a beautiful day at Saratoga, but hopefully that turf track dries out, and then Saturday will be good to go. We started off here. This race was scheduled for the dirt anyway, so we don't have to worry about mini scratches. Just the 3 Liam Spire is going to be out. Leaves us with a field of 10 going 1 mile and an eighth. Like I said, on the main track, starter allowance for 3-year-olds and upward. Very wide open race to start this off, Ricky. How'd you see it playing out?
Yeah, so you actually pulled not a rabbit out of your hat, but you did something a little different, and you guys can see before. I'll let Aaron go. He used Winterpool in a win bet, and then I guess he'll get to a pick 3. I thought Ambrazo was an interesting horse here. If we look at the claim, it was a condition claiming event. I'll be brutally honest, it wasn't all that impressive in terms of who he beat. There's no one in there. I actually do like Al-Mashriq a little bit, but I thought that race was good enough that probably puts him here in a starter allowance. Usually when you see dominating efforts, it wasn't the highest claiming level, but it shows that the horse can run at something better. And this is going to be a second start now for Joe Sharp. You see, if you guys are watching live, 5-1 on the morning line, I think that's fair. Does have some nice numbers with wet dirt as well. 2 starts on wet dirt, a win and a third. I understand why you use the 6. We'll get into it. I don't know, Aaron. I don't think that this is a bad use for a horse that should be much better, who's shown speed, especially under Sharp. So I thought that was an interesting horse. Let's move on to, for me, the 10, and that's Southern Passage. Southern Passage, again, here's another theme for me, at least in this race. I hate using Dale Roman's horses. I truly do. So from my end, I really have to like one. And I do here. He did lose to Winterpool last time out, which is a little concerning. But the one wet dirt race, which was a long, long time ago, I get it. He did win. So maybe there's something to that. This, I don't know if it's going to be sloppy sealed or what the case is. I don't exactly know. I can look after this. I didn't look into it beforehand. But this has a type of feel that, like, Dale Romans wins races like this. And what I mean by that, it's like the off the turf, certain situations set up well for him. Again, if you didn't like Corey Lannery, I thought Corey Lannery was decent on this horse. He wasn't going to do anything to Folsom, Max, Parade, Known Agenda, and Prevalence. So, I mean, he kind of held his own with some of those horses. This is a significant drop in class in terms of those races. Again, last time I was a little disappointing. I'm just afraid that if he gets too far back, I'd like Manny Franco to be a little bit more aggressive. If that happens, who knows? Then maybe the one wet dirt race comes back here. But I'll let you talk about the 6 Winterpool. It's a Chad Brown, Ricardo Santana. And Aaron, to be honest, he probably should have won last time out.
Yeah, so I can't believe you're using the 10. I guess let me talk about the 6, and then we'll get into the 10. And then Dennis has a comment about the 4. We'll talk about it a little bit as well. But I will get into the 6. Yeah, I'm with you. Should have won last time out, Winterpool, and a starter allowance, same level, but at Churchill Downs, just got beat ahead. These Churchill Downs runners have shipped up to Saratoga and ran very well so far. I think that's a good sign. The bad sign is Chad Brown has struggled in dirt races up here so far. But, that's not if you look like through the years, that's really not a trend that is, he does well on the dirt is what I'm trying to say up here. That is a stereotype that really, if you look at the numbers, isn't quite true. I love that he gave Ricardo this mount again. Obviously, Ricardo rode the horse 2 times at Churchill Downs for Chad, but I love that he brings the horse up here and he puts Ricardo on it instead of using his regular New York riders. I thought that was good. I think the horse just kind of sits where you want to be when the track's kind of sloppy. Just kind of sit in that stalking position, kind of sit. I think he's got enough speed to kind of get over, save ground, stalk maybe the 9 horse who's going to be on the lead, and then pounce. Ricardo did that with the Rob Atras horse yesterday very well. I think he could get the similar setup here. I really want that 9-2. I really hope the horse doesn't get bet down much more than that. I do think you need to demand somewhat of a price. If this horse is 5-2, I'm not betting it. Let's put it that way. But I think you'll get it. If I move on, I'm just shocked at the use of the 10. And maybe I'm going to talk him into the winner's circle for you, and that'd be great for you. But it's just, this horse just seems like no matter the level, he's not going to get it done anymore. He has like the classic look to me of a Dale Romans horse, and you kind of laid it out that just he's kind of done. He's kind of cooked him. Did you not think that a little bit?
Well, I did make an alteration. I'm adding another horse.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, Dale Romans usually walks away with a couple wins, right? I mean, he's not going to go winless. I don't see him going winless. Again, he probably will bring a few stakes horses that don't have a shot. But this is the type of spot where he wins. Like these weird type of off the turf days on a Friday that maybe people are, like it's just a weird and a lot, just like jockeys, like your Omar Morenos, your, some of those riders, or your Jalen Samuel, if he ever gets a win, like it's on a day that's like weird, right? And maybe this is one of those days. I want to push back on something you said, not because I think you're wrong. We haven't seen, if Winterpool is that much better than this field, we're going to find out. I'm not sure if he is or not. And he did close last time out. It's weird because going into the Matt win, I thought going into the race after the Matt win, I thought he should have ran much better.
Yeah.
If you take that race off, I think your opinions would be different about this horse, right? Like just take that starter allowance race out and just put this one in front of that and say he's coming from an allowance Matt win to this race. I think your feelings would be different. I'm with you though. It was disappointing, right? If you're 2-1, you're supposed to run better than 5th. I just feel like I hate to say I never do this. I just have one of those hunch feelings this horse is going to run well. I don't have a ton of numbers to back up. Like the best time form number he's gotten in a while is the 106 in the Matt win. And to your point, you got to be careful with those because he got a 106 because he was competing in the Matt win. He didn't earn a 106 potentially. He probably earned more in like the 101, 102 range. If he runs a 101, 102, that's probably not going to be good enough. So I'm with you. I understand that. Again, I'll never talk about a buyer figure ever in my life. But I just have that weird hunch feeling. I did include the 9 because I don't know what happened with this horse last time out. I was just thinking about it, and I'm using too many closers. Potentially, the 6 isn't really a closer, but I don't know if the 2 is going to show that speed. Hasn't shown a lot of speed in the past, except for the last time out. This 9 may or may not run away. So I did include the 9 there at the last minute, and I'm going to go and update the product and everything as well now. But I don't know. I just think this 10 horse is interesting. I truly do. If I get the right price, I might throw a little win bet myself. If I can get like 8-1, maybe. We'll see.
So I'm glad he added the 9. I was going to mention that horse because I think that's one you need to add. And I'm with you. I think that Lone Speed is dangerous. Obviously, the horse is moving up in class here, but Joe Sharp, Luis Saez, and like I said, Lone Speed possibly going long here. I think that horse makes sense. Let's talk. We'd have a couple people. First of all, no, I want to point out something on Southern Passage, and this is why. If you like Romans, that's fine. Obviously the guy has had a lot of success in this game, and he's won more races than I'll ever win, right? So this horse started August 15th of last year and has just never gotten a break. And most times the horse runs off like 2 to 3 weeks rest every single time. Started August 15th. The longest this horse has went between races is coming into today, 48 days. And you talk about, well, he disappointed in the allowance last time out. That was his third straight race off a 2-week break. I mean, the horse was probably tired. I mean, the horse runs in an allowance, 14 days later comes back in an allowance, 14 days later comes back in the mat win, and then 14 days later goes back in that starter allowance. Yeah, no shit, he didn't run very well. He was probably dead ass tired. I mean, that's crazy. But that's why I look at Roman's horses sometimes. And again, I've never trained a horse, but I can see patterns of trainers that have success and develop horses. And I look at that and it's like, I don't know what you're doing. So
he's run 4 times in 41 days. Sorry.
I mean,
days.
That's incredible. I mean, this horse is tough. We'll give him that because he's still entered. So, I mean, he's a tough horse. He can take racing. But I just don't agree with that.
Maybe he actually runs better now that he's gotten a breather. I mean, he hasn't run 6.5 weeks.
If I'm making a case for him, that's the one. He actually has space between races that makes sense. So maybe that gets him there. I don't know. We'll see what happens there, Ricky. But I just look at that and think, what in the hell are you doing? Dennis mentioned the 4. He thinks 4 and 6 are must uses. And we both have the 6. I did use the 4 well as far as being in the top 4. And then Kevin O says 4 was boxed in last race, went way wide, charged late with added distance this time. I think he's a good play. Did you think about the 4 at all?
I did. Anytime Jose Ortiz gets on a horse that looks a little live, makes sense. The problem is this time form figures are not good, are just not good at all. And that's what got me, right? Look, if you just give me past performances, no analytics, no outside information, I'm with you. This horse makes sense. The best time form number this horse has gotten in his career was a 99, and that was to Known Agenda when he lost by 11. He finished second at this level. Well, it was the 55 purse. Now it's 60 purse. It's the same thing. Got a 92. I could give you a lot of horses who have run 92s. Ambrazo ran a 106 last time. Obsessed ran a 93, who we don't like at all, and then a 98 prior to. Winterpool 99. Beachwalker is 100s on the turf. Parade Field 98. We can go on and on. These it just doesn't stack up. For me, again, PPs, he makes sense. You look into deeper analytics, he does not.
I think the only case you can make, case I will make is second off the layoff. Second time out as a 3-year-old. If you're going to see a jump, it could happen right here. And I'll say this: I think it's logical he'll make a jump. It's just how much will it be? And to your point, the time form numbers are not there for this horse. So he's going to have to make a pretty big jump. But I think the biggest thing, I do agree with, I'll put that up there real quick. I think the added distance probably going to help him a little bit. He's got a distance pedigree. I'm with you, though. He was kind of like my fringe throw in the top 4. I don't love the horse. Let's see. K Reed says 2, 4, 6 solid picks. What about the 7 Beachwalker? You kind of mentioned him a little bit earlier. He's got a time form figure that's pretty solid. I'll start first and I'll kick it to you. For me, it's just been a while since we've seen this horse do anything, right? It just hasn't been good for a long time. That's where I kind of like pump the brakes with him.
I like the 7 much more than I like the 4. I was wrong. John Velasquez finally won another race yesterday, or maybe a couple. Like Dale Romans, I try to avoid Ron McQuett horses at Saratoga. That's not in general, just at Saratoga. They just don't seem to stack up. Again, Aaron knows his about me better than anyone. I will tell you if I don't think a trainer is good at a certain track. Like, I don't care.
Yep.
That's just not me. And he doesn't stack up here. It's very simple. That's why, like, I don't like Whitmore's chances at all, which we'll dive into a little bit.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but I've been saying that for months now. If you've been like, and I've been right every, like, Whitmore, you know, when you get some horses that, like, you just know and everyone else disagrees and you're spot on. That's what Whitmore's been for me. I've just known that for months. I do like Beachwalker a little bit. I will say he's a better dirt horse than he is turf horse. I'll give you that. He's 3 for 6 on the money on the dirt. The wet dirt hasn't been great. You know, it was interesting though. The race on November 18th, it was a race taken off the turf. So that doesn't factor into his wet dirt because it was listed as fast. Just to throw that out there. I think for wet dirt, it needs to be something less than fast. I think good might qualify. I'm pretty sure it does. If it's fast, like if it's taken off the turf, it doesn't go in as a wet dirt race. So that would improve his numbers as well, which usually means that there was just a lot of rain from the night before. It wasn't raining the day of. I like him a little. But we do need to move on. We got a lot. I
was going to say, this is fun to talk about, and I love we get the comments. But yeah, we will move on. Just to, second out against winners. That's an angle we didn't talk about. Maybe you mentioned it with the 6, but that is another good angle for the 6 as well. And then the speed of the 9. That certainly is going to play a factor here. And listen, when we get to this point of the day, we're going to know if speed is holding well or not, and so that you could maybe make an adjustment, accordingly there. So all right. Because honestly, we have no idea how this track is going to play. We're not going to sit here and lie to you. We don't have a clue how it's going to play. All right, let's go to a race that has kind of been ruined by scratches a bit. Obviously, this race was race 8, originally scheduled for the turf. We're now on the dirt. We're going 1.25 miles on the dirt here. It's allowance, $103,000 purse. Let's see. We are left. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 5. A field of 5. Oh, now 4? Who else is scratched?
Box and score is a late scratch. So if it was just dated at 11:11. So if we refresh it or whatever, box and score will be out as well.
Okay. So we're down to 4. Down to 4. That was one I thought had a shot to upset the heavy favorite. We spent some time on the last race. I don't think we have to spend too much time here. Go through it, Ricky. We got a field of 4 now.
Well, because of that, I'm going to update it again, and I'm only going to use 2 now. So I'm back. I'll update it after this. I'm taking the dollar amount's not going to be right. I'll try to update it as I'm talking. But how do we really beat Clayton the Lionheart? I'm not sure where we're going to. I'll try to make a case for the 1, and that's Eyes on Target. I think the dollar amount's right now it's $32, and I'll have to go in and update it again. This horse was extremely impressive last time out. There is some dirt pedigree. I know Exaggerator is better on the turf, and that's probably why this horse debuted. And I personally think Bill Mott is a slightly better turf trainer. Hence, he got Dujour, who's absolutely fantastic. Aaron, I'm just not sure. The fact that he's keeping this horse on the dirt tells me something, and I just don't want to be scared of a horse in Clayton the Lionheart who just does not win. He just simply doesn't win, and that's where I'm at. We'll get to some of the other horses that just look like true turf horses that I don't know if they're going to take to it. But we've never seen this horse on the dirt. I think it's going to be interesting, at least for the 6 and the 7. Well, the 7 we have, it was brutal. It was back at Aqueduct a long time ago. And Giroux we haven't seen, who's going to be making first start out for Maker. You only have to finish 3rd. I'll let you talk about the 11 who you used, who's going to be an incredibly short price. I mean, this horse is supposed to win by 1,000 lengths. And seriously, like he's supposed to win like Witt ran, or like Witt won, which was, I don't know how many it was official, probably like 6, 7, 8, something like that. Like he's supposed to win by that many. I just don't trust him. So that's why I used one other, Bill Mott. I'm not going to doubt a horse that I'm not sure about when it comes to his barn. So I'll let you talk about him there.
Well, I'll start here. I absolutely agree that if you're going to use one more, it's the Belmont horse. So I think you made the right move there. Here's what I did. I think the 11, Clayton the Lionheart, is going to be like 1-5, right? And I'm not going to bet, horses at 1-5. So I started a $10 straight pick 3 here, starting with Clayton the Lionheart. I went 11, and then we'll talk about the other ones later, but 11, 4, 10, $10 straight pick 3 starting here in race 8. Let's talk about Clayton the Lionheart. You're absolutely right. This horse has lost so many times, just very narrowly. You look at who he's been up against compared to what he has to do today. I'm 1,000% with Dennis. If Clayton the Lionheart loses again today, I will never, ever, 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 ever play this horse on top again. I mean, my goodness, he has to get it done here. He just has to. Look, there's really not a lot to say. He's the best horse in this race. I don't really think it's close. I get why you're going to say, hey, he loses a lot of races. I'll take this one. Maybe this one just gets on top and Clayton Lionheart won't pass. I get it. This 11 should win the race. Come on.
I mean, he's supposed to. I mean, he's supposed to. I don't know what else to say. I'm currently updating a few things. I mean, he's supposed to win. I don't have anything else to add. It's just sad that a horse that I think is 1-2 on the Equibase live odds, we don't trust. That goes to show you what we think of this horse. I would never be betting this horse at 1-2. It's also, I'm going to be making another change to this pick 4 ticket. So definitely, normally it's the same thing I've just said. Now I'm really going to have to update this again, and I'll definitely make sure I go through it again because I've changed it. This is the 3rd time that I've changed it now.
What, do we have another scratch? Or are you just adding a horse because you took one out?
So at first I added a horse, then I subtracted a horse, then I added a horse. We're still at the same $48 we were at originally, but I'm going to have to, if you guys bought the product, I promise you it'll be completely accurate by the time I
told Heather when we woke up this morning, I said today's going to be a disaster because Saratoga is off and it's going to be a mess. And you always get these surprise late scratches that they forgot or whatever. So, it's always a mess. Mark's right. Listen, ran second to Dak Daniels last time out. 2 races back, ran 3rd to Harvard. Harvard's in the next race. We're going to talk about the Curlin Stakes. So, he's got to do it. I mean, he's got to do it. And there's just no way around it. Dennis says the 1 has to be blank odds to bet. So I'm guessing like betting a win. What odds would you take on the 1? Now, Dennis, here's the problem. It's a 4-horse field, so you're not going to get it probably.
I like that question though.
Yeah.
I'll take 5-2.
That's realistically all you can really expect.
Yeah, no, I mean, right, because anything lower than that, and to be quite honest with you, then I'm looking at another horse. Because if that horse is less than 2-1, you're probably going to get 8-1 on the 6 and 7, and then at that point, who knows? So, like the 6 has never been on the dirt. What if the horse really takes to it? And the 7 ran on the dirt a long time ago. I think if I get the 1 at 5-2 or higher, I will throw a win bet down because I just don't know, and it's Belmont. So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. All right, let's go on because that race just was ruined. That race was totally ruined by the scratches, unfortunately. All right, so let's go on to the feature of the day. And boy, let me tell you something. This is one of the best Curlins that we've had. Not that the Curlin is always like this fantastic race, but this year it's really, really good. I think you've got legit chances that can run well here and then go on to maybe win the Travers. We got a field of 7. Going a mile and an eighth. Look, $120,000 purse. This race, it seems like First Captain, targeted this race almost immediately after winning last time out. 7-5. I think deserving favorite. You're using 3 in here. I think it's the right strategy. Kind of talk us through this one.
I wasn't going to use 3 until this thing got scratched out. You have the horse I have on top, First Captain, so I'll let that go. Harvard is interesting, right? Extremely, extremely interesting. Was he a Bob Baffert original trainee? Harvard always wrote off Brissett. I don't remember.
He's always been Brissett, but it's funny you said that because I thought he was with Pletcher too. You know,
No, I thought he was with Baffert.
Oh, okay. I thought he was with Pletcher, so I don't know. Maybe they had a similar one.
Yeah. Okay, so fair enough. Ever since Chris Landeros got aggressive with this horse, he's been pretty good. So now you're going to add an even more aggressive. Luis Saez, he might have Zenyatta, and he'll still put that Zenyatta on the lead. Like, that's what Luis Saez does. He's been great at it, by the way. The more and more I look at this, I'm less and less confident in first captain, and I get why you went that way in the pick threes. I do, or a double. I just am afraid of this horse. Like, I don't think this Curlin Stakes isn't the best. I don't know if we see, like, you always like to use the word potential or upside. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really see anyone in here that I love, or anyone that's like a graded stake. I don't see anyone in here that's a graded stakes winner down the road. I truly don't. Non-graded stakes, sure, we're going to find one today. Maybe Harvard is, though. Maybe Harvard is. He is getting better. I just want the horse with speed. I'll let you talk about first captain. The dynamic one is interesting. He almost won the Wood Memorial, but what do you make of that? Because Bourbonic, I don't think there was there's one person I think off the top of my head that used Bourbonic, and he almost won, and not one of those runners ran in the Derby. Like, none of them ran well.
Yep.
I think Jared said it last night, though. If you take out the Derby, he kind of fits. So that's why I used him. This is interesting. If he doesn't run well here, he's, for now on, in my book, an allowance horse. I think that's fair. Unless he has the lead and just gets nipped at the wire. I know you were shaking your head when I said a non-graded stakes winner. These horses can be that. I don't see them being a graded stakes winner unless it's one of the weakest fields put together. But they're not winning a graded stakes here at Saratoga. I don't see it at Churchill Downs like one of the big tracks. So that's what I'll stick with it there. I've already marked down horses from the last stakes race that Aaron said he would find one. I have to do some updating. I'll have to look. Where did you go? I know you went first captain, but there's got to be a few horses that you're afraid of at least.
100. I'm afraid of all 100. I'm afraid of all 6 of them that aren't first captain. I'm going to go through this field and kind of make a case for a few. I did put first captain on top. You talk about you don't see a graded stakes winner. First captain is a graded stakes winner, so he does have that going.
No, outside of first captain. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
outside of first captain.
I pretty much assumed, as much. Yeah, listen, I just think the upside with this horse is there. You know, three races, 3 really good victories, and I think this horse is ready for a 1 1/8. I think the horse is going to relish a 1 1/8. You got to remember, this is a Curlin horse out of an AP Indy mare, and we haven't seen this horse around 2 turns yet. So I actually think he can improve today. I think there's some speed in here, and I think he can kind of just sit behind the speed and kind of cruise home. I think the 4 is going to be tough. I'm not going to be surprised if he gets upset, though, because there are, in my opinion, some horses with potential. Like the 1 Miles D is 10-1. I think that's crazy. The horse came out, debut was 4th, got beat by Speaker's Corner, Caddo River, and Greatest Honor, which ended up being a very live race. And the next time out, goes to Belmont off in a maiden special weight, off of a layoff of 244 days, and wins by 2 1/4. This is another Curlin horse out of a Bernardini mare going long for the first time. He should improve today. So I think the 1 makes sense. Snow House is a horse, only got beaten by 2 1/4 last time out in the Dwyer to first captain. Also another horse going long for the first time today. I think he makes sense to improve. Also, by the way, Brad Cox, who's winning at like 60% at the meet as this horse. Harvard, you talked about, and I agree with. What about Burin coming from Parks? This horse has won by combined 20 links in the last 2 starts. Now, we have no idea what he is, but he's still, I think he's got upside. Safi Joseph really likes Collaborate still. 1 by 5 last time out. It's been wildly inconsistent, but he's at least mildly interesting. And then, the dynamic 1, like you like to call him. Listen, you said it to me like off air Wednesdays, like scratch out the Derby. He has races that fit with these. It's like, you're right, he does. So I think it's a field I think it's better than what you think. But I do think in the end of the day, First Captain is going to get the job done. His upside is pretty large. And when you get right down to it, his upside is still more than some of these other horses, I believe.
This is my definition of a make me, not place me stakes race. And what I mean by that is we're making a case for a lot of these runners because they don't have a lot of downside. They don't have a lot of spots where you say, oh, they were horrible here.
Yeah.
So we're making cases, make me cases, make believe, as opposed to the place me where it's like we're placing these horses here because they fit here, right? I think non-graded stakes races are always interesting in that case. When you get to the grade 3, 2s, 1s, the higher you go, they're all place me. They all belong there for the most part. These non-graded are make me believe. I mean, I don't have to make you believe on the dynamic one. I do have to make you believe on Miles D, though, because Absolute Courage is still looking for his first maiden win. Southern Flag is still looking for his first maiden win. On paper, you're right. I said it. I don't know if I said it off air on Wednesday. The Speaker's Corner Cattle River race that he ran was better than his victory in my book because that was an extremely live race, and he did it on debut. So I completely agree with that point. For me to have had any interest in that horse, again, if you're going to tell me Chad Brown Rosario, I can't argue that. That's just an unarguable point. But we're trying to be analytical. We're trying to make sense of this thing, this puzzle piece. I think this race is a puzzle piece. I expected a little bit more, and he was a short price. You know that he was even money. Yep. You're supposed to win easily at even money at any level. I don't care where you are. If you're even money as a favorite against horses that haven't won yet and are still looking to win, that's what you're supposed to do. And 2.25, if you look at the comment, and I agree, he cleared late. He wasn't driving by obviously we're not going to compare him to Witt, but Witt like blew away headline report.
Right.
Like it was like, all right, I see you, now I don't. Miles D was like, I see you, and now I'm just slowly gaining. I thought Snowhouse was the one that I didn't use that was interesting. He ran well in the Dwyer, I thought. But the problem is, and I never knew, I'm interested to see if this horse can run on the turf. To be quite honest with you, they only put him one time on the turf. It was at Fairgrounds in a debut against Winworthy, Shaldag, and Hidden Enemy. Those are nice turf runners. I'm interested to see if this horse ever does become a turf runner down the road. Now, for the record, Brad Cox is better on the dirt. So maybe that's why. And he hasn't been bad. I'm not saying that. You're right, though. First Captain does look better on paper, and he just chased First Captain kind of around the track, to be quite honest with you. It's not like he made a move and stopped or was on the pace and stopped. Like, he never really looked to be there. I'm nitpicking the 1 and 2. I haven't gotten to the 5, Baron. But, you have to nitpick because if you look at the odds, there's no one higher than 10-1. And maybe second off the layoff for a Curlin horse, maybe I'm just completely wrong. So I don't – again, Chad Brown has been winning at more prices and he has short prices, evidenced by yesterday. I don't know. I'm nitpicking again, but I think the race still does go through First Captain.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. I kind of wanted to try to beat him, but he just has the least amount of kind of question marks. I'll say this, Dynamic One, I feel like that's the barometer, right? If Dynamic One wins the race, we know these horses aren't any good, right? I mean, we know he's not great.
No, I agree with that, but like I said before, why can't I'll be wrong about the statement if Dynamic One is impressive here because whether we like the Wood as a grade 2 race or not, it was. Like on paper, it was. Like it's listed as a grade 2, and maybe talent-wise it wasn't. I'm with you. Unfortunately, on paper, it just was, and it's going to go down in his history as Bourbonic was a graded stakes winner. Whether he should be or not, he was.
Right.
So you could make the case that this Curlin might actually be a little bit more talented than that Wood, and I wouldn't put that past anyone if they made the case. But the Dynamic One, it seems like he's 4-1. Again, Aaron, what would his odds be if you just took the Derby off of it? completely. He was on a break. I say he's 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, he's still the second choice because first captain's got so much hype, but he's shorter. There's no doubt. Yeah,
Right, exactly. So if we think first captain at 7-5, morning line 7-5 can be another graded stakes winner down the road because the Curlin is a non-graded stakes, that kind of you can make the case that dynamic one could be as well. And I would be wrong if the dynamic one wins. I would probably be wrong on that statement because again, I don't count first captain. He already won. I don't see Harvard ever becoming one. I don't think Snowhouse or Barron will either. There's it's interesting, Aaron, right? Robert Reed had his horse in the Gold Fever to Candyman Rocket, never moved him up after that. Takes him to Belmont, which was a race on the turf, and then takes him to the Crowd Pleaser at Parks. I didn't even know that existed. I rewatched that race. Great name, by the way. Crowd Pleaser. Yeah. Great name. Another one that was taken off the turf, though. That timeline, to me, he might be better on the turf moving forward, or maybe his even money and 2-5 odds just meant he was so much better regardless. I don't know. And he's only run against really, really, really small fields in 2021. I don't know. I mean, nice horse, but I don't know.
He's the mystery. Like if he comes up here and wins by 6 or 7, which I would be very surprised. But if he comes up here and like rolls, then it's like, wow, that he could be something, but I don't think he is. But we've seen Parks horses in the past. Every now and then they come up here and they run well. So I don't think. And listen, 5-1, they've got him. Wow, third choice on the morning line. So I don't think that horse will be the third choice. But fair. I guess we'll see.
Oh, how do you? Okay, so between me, between us and everyone watching, I couldn't go to the window if I'm getting the odds that are posted. I could not go to the window and say, I'll take Barron at 5-1 versus Dynamic 1 at 4-1. I just couldn't. I wouldn't allow myself to do that. Sorry. I don't know.
It's a situation where we may be wrong today, but over time we'll be right on that.
Oh, yeah. Especially with these Parks horses. And you're right. If Barron goes off shorter than 5-1, that means Dynamic 1 is actually 4-1. That's what that means. So I would be more than happy with that. The interesting thing, real before we move on, this first captain horse, you knew was kind of a big deal. First of all, forget about the purchase price. The fact that this horse actually won first time out for Shug is a warning sign because him winning with a first time starter is like me running the marathon. It just never happens or very rarely happens. Again, they paid a lot of money for this horse. I mean, find me a horse that's bred better to go 2 turns. And this one, you'd be hard pressed to do it.
And this trainer is one of the best in the country at progressing a horse along. And that's what's scary. I don't think we've seen the best of first captain yet.
If first captain wins before we move on, I'll just ask you, and you guys chime in, please. I'm not looking at the comments, but Aaron will post it if it's relevant.
Yep.
If first captain wins by 2 lengths or more, would you consider taking him in the Travers?
Well, let's see what happens in the Jim Dandy. That's number one. But absolutely, I think he becomes one of the main players in the Travers if he wins by 2 lengths today. Yeah, I do. And part of it is a home horse, a Saratoga horse usually wins the Travers, meaning running out of their home barn. They're located there. Usually a horse that runs their prep at Saratoga wins the Travers. I certainly think if he wins today by a couple lengths, I'll definitely be considering playing him, and I think he'll be like second or third choice in the race.
I don't, outside, assuming Essential Quality runs in the Jim Dandy, which he's supposed to. I mean, you're going to get every part of 5-1, if not higher, with first captain. Yeah, I promise you, if you like first cap, this is one of those things, right? If you like first captain now, put your money on him. Like if you think this horse has a legitimate shot in the Travers, which I'm not sure if I'm there yet, if you like him today going into it and you like him after, you're going to get every part of 5-1. Guaranteed, because Essential Quality should be probably 4-5 in the Travers, something like that. So,
and to your point,
in the Jim Dandy.
And to your point on that, if you think if you're coming into today's race before they run it and you think, I think first captain can win the Travers, if you get 7-5 on him today, take it.
It's a betting. Yeah. No, exactly. I completely agree. So that was just my final point. You guys chime in with your thoughts on that. Do you think First Captain, if he wins by 2, has a legitimate shot maybe at least run second behind EQ? We're not saying beat EQ, but I mean, finishing second to EQ in the Travers would be a fantastic finish. No matter if you finish by 100 lines or 1 line, finishing second would be great.
So Mark Heft talks about VE Day. By the way, I was there when VE Day won the Curlin. He goes on to beat Wicked Strong and Tonalist in the Travers. First Captain could be that kind of horse. I think First Captain's got a shot to be better than VE Day.
Fair. Well, the other point I would make is Essential Quality is better than Wicked Strong and Tonalist.
Especially at that point of the season as a 3-year-old. Yeah, for sure. So there's 2 factors in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more race we do have to get to here.
I know. We got it. We're gonna fly through this one. So this is what I love about the show, though. We get it's a deep dive into every race, and that's something that we just don't see on a lot of the other shows that we do. So we'll go to race 10. We'll do this one quick, wrap it up, and then get to some stakes actions that's happening on this weekend. But here we go. Race 10, Maiden claiming $40,000, going 1 1/8 miles on the dirt, of course. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, New York breds as well. So it's our fun one. It's our fun little race to end it here. A lot of scratches: the 1, the 5, the 6, the 9, the 11, the 13, and the 14. Those are all out. Wrap us up here, Ricky. Where'd you go?
I'm going to go really, really quick here. The 4, Chiloian Rose. Chiloian, I think that's right. Bred beautifully, by the way. Rob Actress must think she's ready to go no matter what, because she's going to keep her. This is the first time start. That was for the turf. Now going to come in for the dirt. Ricardo, I actually prefer Ricardo on the dirt anyway, so I'm interested to see how she does. I'll leave the Highway Queen horse, the 10, to you, because that's the horse that I think you have closing out all your pick threes, your doubles, and all that stuff. I thought the 16 Constitutional Rage was interesting. It was weird last time out. The first start on the dirt that was scheduled for the dirt, but that was against Maiden special weight competition. Like, I would have liked to see her in for a tag. We are today. With all the scratches, we're with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is not the 16 post. This is I think the 9 post. That's a massive difference here. Drawing to the outside. Look for her to show a little bit more speed. I only went 3 deep in here. I try to use everyone that I thought was interesting. I did put the 10 Highway Queen on top, so I'll let Aaron talk about that one.
Yeah, I think Highway Queen, to me, it's just a situation where it's Maker with Gaffleone. They keep the horse in. The horse does have some dirt form, and it's also first off the claim for Maker. And I thought that was the biggest thing that this led me to the 10. Listen, it's a race that could get a little goofy for sure, but I when you got these horses left and none of them are just that good, I'll take my chances with the 10 and the connections of Maker and Gaffleone. So yeah, this is going to round out. I did a straight double First Captain into Highway Queen, and then that straight pick 3, Clayton the Lionheart, into First Captain into Highway Queen, because these prices are just going to be too short. I don't want to play win bets on 1 to 2 shots all day. So going to try to get creative with the betting and do that. But yeah, Highway Queen, we'll keep it simple here. I think it's a connections type of race.
I'm with you. I guess it's time to wrap it up before we do stakes action.
Yeah, we have a comment that the 4 is scratched. I hadn't seen that.
It says scratch there, but I didn't see that anywhere. Well, a late scratch taken off of the turf. Okay, so it's going to change everything again. Okay, you know what? No, I'm going to include, apparently I was wrong for not including John Velasquez yesterday. So I'm going to include the John Velasquez horse, which I already had. Did I not talk about that one? I guess I skipped over that one. Yeah, I was using the John Velasquez horse anyway. All right, so we're just down to 3 here. So I'm going to have to adjust this ticket for another time. So this is the 4th time that I'm changing it.
Yeah. So just while you change that, I'll kind of talk for a second about the frustrations of what we do, because a lot of times we'll get a comment and it's like, what? Scratches? What's going on? They have added 4 or 5 scratches since the scratches came out. So it's like,
Very frustrating.
There's nothing you can do. All we can do is just keep updating and keep updating. But it's just like Ricky said, it's very frustrating to just keep doing it over and over and over again. So
I think it's ready to go now.
Yeah.
Is it? Yes. So
what's incredible to me is
it's
incredible that they come out with scratches and then they miss scratch. Like, how does the track miss a horse being scratched? That's what is just unreal. I don't know.
I'm very frustrated. Hopefully, I think it's supposed to be nice there today. Hopefully, it just airs out and they can get going. It's incredible to me. I'm with you. It's absolutely incredible. You have scratches and then you miss scratches. Well, what are we doing? Why just have your order of scratches out? I mean, it's just very, very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. All right, wrap us up, Ricky. Go over. Do you have it updated where you can go over it now?
Yeah, it should be good to go. Someone tell me if it's not. Again, I don't look at the comments. Aaron does, but someone tell me if it's wrong. I think it is. I think it's all set to go now. I'll start in race number 6. I thought this was race number 7. Excuse me. I really like the way Ambrazo ran. Like there are a lot of horses in here that make sense. I did include the 9 at the last minute because that was a freak race. I have no idea what happened. But Joe Sharp seemed to get that horse running well. He's first time out as a 5-year-old. Maybe just the long layoff helped. The key horse is the horse Aaron hates the most, Southern Passage. Let's see how that horse runs. In the 8th race, we're down to 4 horses. The 11's supposed to win, but we'll see if Bill Mott tries his horse on the dirt. Maybe it's just Aaron like a paid workout. I don't know. I don't know what the angle is here, but it's Bill Mott. And in a 4-horse field, the horse looked good last time out. In the 9th race, I went with Harvard first captain and the dynamic 1, 3, 4, and 7. First captain, I think, is still supposed to win, but Harvard has shown speed, looked good, and the dynamic 1 makes sense if you throw out the Kentucky Derby. In the 10th, I went 10, 12, and 16. I didn't really get a chance to talk about the John Velasquez horse to the tune, but makes sense. Highway Queen has a race over the Belmont Dirt that makes sense. To the Tune is probably a better dirt horse because that one turf race was atrocious last September. And Constitutional Rage dropping it for a tag on the dirt for the first time. Let's see how that horse runs. So it's 4x2 by 3x3 at $72 out to $36 for the 50-cent base. Hopefully it's accurate there. And I'm currently updating everything on the site. So make sure you refresh. Again, it is the back half of the afternoon, so you'll have time.
Yeah, so that is a good point. That there hasn't been any changes to the first 5 races, so that's good. And yeah, you'll be able to adjust by the time it gets here. Yeah, hopefully we have runners left. They're scratching left and right while we're talking here. But all right, race 7 for me. I went with a $10 win wager on the 6 winner pool for Chad Brown. Second time out against winners, as Mark pointed out a little bit earlier, and just kind of a horse that has a look of one that's going to improve and keep improving today. And then race 8, I did a $10 straight, pick 3, the 11 with the 4 with the 10. And then in race 9, a $10 straight double 4 with the 10. So a lot of short prices there. Did not want to play, win bets on horses that are going to be 1 to 5 or 3 to 5. So try to pair them together, put them in the pick 3s, pick 4s, try to make a little money that way. Just a $30 total investment for me overall there on these last 4 races. All right, Ricky, let's move on because we have a big weekend ahead. I'm going to pull up now Saturday's Saratoga card. We're going to start with the Vanderbilt, a grade 1 race. The Vanderbilt going 6 furlongs on the dirt, $350,000 purse, field of 9. Where are you looking in this one?
Yeah, this one, it's a really, really nice card. I thought Mischievous Alex was interesting. For the record, I'm using a bunch in here. This is the one that I went the deepest in. I just like the cutback for this horse. I think Mischievous Alex is a horse that's always been talented, but maybe not placed the best, right? Last time out, a mile just didn't really make sense, to be quite honest with you. I get it. The horse was in form, though. And I don't think a lot of people I'm not going to include myself in this because I put Silver State on top on Belmont Day. I don't think a lot of people realized that Silver State might be the best older horse in the country. I'm not sure if he's there yet, but you can make the case for it. With that being said, the fact he only lost by a little under 2 lanes to what might be the best horse in the country, going a distance he's not comfortable with, is enough for me. I did use a bunch of horses as well. I know you talked about the 9 Special Reserve last night, who I do like as well, but I put the 2 on top.
I'm with you, though. I did put the 2 Mischievous Alex on top, and I'm with you 100%. A lot of people are like, yeah, he was just average in that Met Mile. Well, distance you don't want to go, only beating 2 links, grade 1 race, one of the toughest ones of the year, a year in and year out. I think that's all right. And the cutback in distance is great for this horse. This horse wasn't even touched going 6 furlongs or even 7 furlongs in the Carter. I think Mischievous Alex cutting back distance can be pretty tough. I'm with you. Special Reserve comes into the race hot. I know you're the Grinch when it comes to Whitmore, but I do like the freshening, and I do like 6 furlongs instead of 7 for him. I think he's going to be in there with a shot, but I do not want to play this horse on top. I'll stick with Mischievous Alex. So let's go on to kind of the feature. It's not really places the feature. It's the 9th race on the card Saturday at Saratoga. It's the Jim Dandy grade 2, and we've got the return of number 5, Essential Quality. We saw a big favorite go down last week in Malathot. Is it going to happen again with Essential Quality this week?
I don't think so. It's like everyone talks about the graveyard of favorites. No one says it happens every week. Maybe we saw it. Maybe we saw it the one time. I mean, Essential Quality was always better than Malathot, as far as I'm concerned. I never thought Essential Quality was worse. And I told Aronoff multiple times, finally I was right, so I'm not going to take credit for it now. I never thought Malathot was all that great, and I said it on your show last night, Blinkers Off, with Jared. She's in the really good, not all-time great category now. I think Essential Quality has the potential to get into the all-time great category, even though he didn't win the Derby. If he goes on, Aaron, and stays undefeated the rest of the year, he's in the all-time great category. Like, not even, it's maybe not the upper tier of that, but he's in that. So are we saying Mask Parade is supposed to do it? Risk-taking? I mean, one of the things people don't understand, I'm not betting the favorite. I'm not betting the favorite. Great. Okay, so find me another horse who can win. That's like, no one thinks about that. Oh, I'm not betting this horse. Well, okay, find one who can win. I don't see anyone who can.
Yeah.
Your best effort. It's the same thing. The only case I'll make, and I think I might have used Mask Parade on one ticket. He should be winning. Let Essential Quality come get him. It's the same thing with I'll handle the cash on Wednesday. Tamahir was the best closer. Essential Quality is the best mid-pack closer. We'll say mid-pack, whatever. If you better be winning, you're not going to outkick him late. Mm-mm. Let's see if you're winning. Let's see if you've got the edge early on, just like I'll handle the cash and Sweet Melania did. I don't think it's going to be good enough, but that's the best way you're going to beat him because you're not going to outkick him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you can beat him here. Mask Parade, if you say he gets out to a lead and speed is really, really, really good, maybe Essential Quality has trouble, but I don't think you can beat him. I'm interested here, and not that I'm agreeing or disagreeing. I want to know if you're going to beat EQ, it's today. Kind of just tell us why, Dennis, and we're going to move on, but we'll get back to it with your point there because I don't know that it's today. I almost think it's next out in the Travers, but we'll see. We'll see your point. We'll talk about it. But I'm with Ricky. I think Essential Quality. I don't think this will be too tough for him, to be completely honest. This looks like this is the easiest race he's been in since the Southwest, So I think he gets it done here pretty easily. We'll go on to the Bowling Green, another grade 2 race going a mile and 3/8 on the turf. I thought this was a completely wide open race, a field of 8. Jared said it last night on Blinkers Off. He thought all 8 of them had a shot to win. Where did you kind of land on this one?
Well, I'll disagree with him there because I only give 8 a chance to win. I don't think Breakpoint and Red Knight can win personally. I don't love Channel Maker, but that's where I went. Now, for the record, I'm going very deep. Like Essential Quality is a clear single to me. We can move on. I honestly didn't even have to look at the rest of the field. Once I saw Essential Quality, that was it. You unless you threw in like authentic, like a horse that isn't running, or like no horse alive outside of like Hot Rod Charlie is going to make sense to me at the 3-year-old level, as far as I'm concerned. Channel Maker, the last time we saw him in this country, lost to horses Tarnawa and Magical, which was a longer distance. That was 12. This is going to be 11 furlongs. Hopefully, we're still on the inner turf. I'm sure we will tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then goes overseas and loses. I mean, those horses are really, really tough overseas as well. It's actually, believe it or not, it's actually a cutback in distance for this horse, which is incredible. I mean, his best is the best in his field. Now, the best case you could make against him is that he doesn't come back properly. We saw Nix Go not come back properly. We've seen that a lot of Saudi Arabia horses not come back properly, not like healthy, just not their best or whatever the case may be. Again, Aaron, I told you I want Bill Mott on the turf just as much as I probably want Chad Brown at this point. And he's given this horse plenty of time. He's waited, bided his time. I think this horse makes sense. I know I'll let you go on a rant about Rock Emperor. I don't know why, but I'll let you go ahead. I'm going to go with Channel Maker. I know it's chalky. I do think there are horses that can beat him, though. I do. If he had one more start in the U.S. under his belt, I think he's an easy winner. The fact that we haven't seen him in the U.S. since the Breeders' Cup makes me a little hesitant.
So before I talk about Rock Emperor, is that one that you're going to use? Are you using Rock Emperor?
I am using Rock Emperor.
Yeah. So the backstory there is I have had my heart broken by Rock Emperor a lot. And so I've declared on Blinkers Off, hell, this has probably been over a year ago. That's it. I'm done. No more. He's done. He's dead to me. Well, I used him last time out, but like I said, it doesn't really count. It was an allowance. It was a huge class drop. I did use him last time out, and here I am. I'm back. I'm going to take a shot with Rock Emperor. I said it on Blinkers Off last night. I know this horse has the talent to get it done. I feel in my heart that Rock Emperor is the best horse in this race. And I feel like if I could give him a pep talk, I could convince him that he is. And I just feel like it could set up well for him here. I'm falling back one more time, Ricky. I hate myself for it, but I've done it.
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I'm using him. It's just like he beat Opry in an allowance. That's what's got you to change your mind. This horse hasn't won. He's won one race in this country.
Yep. In 10 starts. Yep.
In 10 starts. I don't know.
It's more of now listen, it's more of I'm just uninspired by this field. You know,
Would you agree though, Channel Maker is at his best, he's gonna win by a few lines?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I do agree with that. I'm skeptical that he will be. That's my problem. And I think I've seen him lose a lot in these kind of situations too. So I just think he's vulnerable. So yeah, I took a swing with Rock Emperor. I kind of like my friend Sham Rocket in this spot too. I think this horse just kind of keeps getting better and better. I thought that was an upset potential. Did you use Sham Rocket? How about that?
No, because I just went 2, 4, and 5. So maybe I shouldn't have been giving that away, but I went 2, 4, 5. I think in the 4th spot I actually used Channel Cat, because if you're coming out of any race that's got domestic spending in it, you're already like in my mind to begin with. The other thing that's interesting is that race was only 10 furlongs. I think he kind of wants a little bit more. And when he went 11 furlongs, he had the lead on Gate to Wire over Gaffoe. Gaffoe just ran against Sham Rocket and beat him. So that was the difference for me there. We know Channel Cat's supposed to be on the lead. It's like Aaron, it kind of look at it as like Channel Cat's going to be there, and then there's going to be a bunch of other horses. Again, I don't know if you're going to outkick. Okay, you might outkick Rock Emperor. I don't know if you're going to outkick Channel Maker, more than likely. This has a Gate to Wire type of feel to me, which then leaves off the 7 and 8.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this race is it's just a little bit of a mess. Let's just put it that way. I mean, you could just go a lot of different ways. I'm not going to be shocked with anybody. I'm with you. I'd be shocked with the 6-1. That would be surprising to me, but none of the others. So, all right. Oh, Dennis commented his main to paraphrase or summarize. He just doesn't think Essential Quality would be fully cranked. That's where I differ from some people. I don't buy into the fully cranked argument ever. So I just if he's there and he's running, I think he's ready to run.
So how many more races do we have to go over?
Let's see. We've got three races left.
Real quick. If they're putting a horse that will be sold for probably millions of dollars down the road at some point, not this year, probably after this year, we might not see him again after 3 based on what happens, which is the biggest pet peeve of mine. Aaron knows that.
Yeah.
They're not risking millions of dollars to throw this horse in a Jim Dandy prep. Like, they're not. If he's not ready, he's not running. So I'm with you. I don't believe in the fully cranked thing. This isn't harness horses that run once a week. These horses run every 4 to 8 weeks, potentially. They're not just going to do it if he's not ready. So I don't subscribe. And the better horses, by the way, they know when they're out there to run. So it's just like a competitor. If you go play a basketball game and you put a jersey on and there's a score and a ref, good luck not taking it 100% because the competitive fire, the competitive juices, the rider aboard, the crowd that's going to be there, it affects you. So it affects, just like it affects an animal, it affects a horse. So I'm with you. I don't think that makes sense personally, but.
Well, all right. Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to say I agree. I won't go into anything else. I agree with Ricky on this one. All right, so let's go to Del Mar. Grade 1 Breeders' Cup winning you're in for the sprint. It's the Bing Crosby Stakes. We're going 6 furlongs, $300,000 purse, a field of 9. Favoritism to CZ Rocket, your boy. You made money on CZ Rocket at Oaklawn this year. Are you heading back to his camp today?
Well, how do I not? I mean, like I've made a lot of money with this horse this year. I mean, on his best day, he's beating this group. Now, the problem is he likes to come from way out of it. First of all, I'm going to you, Jared, and I are going to sit down and go over names. It's Dr. Skivel or Skyvel. What'd you call him? Shivel last night?
Yeah, Dr. Shivel.
No, I was getting anxiety. I don't think it's Shivel. I thought it was Skivel. Is it not Skivel?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, all right. Well, then maybe I'm giving myself anxiety for no reason. I kind of do like that horse, though. It's weird. I don't really. Brickyard Ride is going to go with quick tempo. But Aaron, I don't know if this is going to be the fastest sprint of all time. To be quite honest, like you were talking about CZ Rocket, who wants to come from off the pace. Your horse, Dr. Skivel, Skyvel, Shivel, Quivel, whatever the heck you want to name that horse, wants to come off. If you had any interest in Collusion Illusion, which I don't, he's probably going to be close to last or near the back of the pack. You called 8 Rings a mule. He is a mule. Are you scared? I actually used quick tempo on my ticket. I went with 2 horses, CZ Rocket and quick tempo. Those are the only 2 horses I use. Do you give quick tempo any shot at all?
Yeah, I do. I think coming out of a race, it was tougher than people think last time out. I get not much of a shot, but some. I think the horse could get out in front and kind of be hard to catch.
And that's where I'm at, right? Because it was the same thing. If I think CZ Rocket is much better than this group, why would I take another short price? It doesn't make sense. This is the thing that I've definitely learned about from I've always thought I was a decent handicapper, but the ticket construction is where I've definitely changed, and I think I've gotten better. If I think the shortest price, which CZ Rocket should be at 2-1, who even both of you, you and I, said going into Lone Star, that was not the spot for him. Going a mile over, no joke. I thought it was like Hurricane Katrina down there. He getting back to it'll be a beautiful racetrack, perfect. What he likes to do. I mean, I'm not going to take a short price because I just think on paper he's the best. Now, I like your horse a little. I don't like Collusion Illusion, but I like Brickyard Ride. I'll take a horse that I think is going to be on the front end, and maybe I get lucky with the price, because if Quick Tempo wins, everything will pay. The pick 5 will pay over $5,000 easily.
Yeah.
And the pick 6 for 20 cents will be over $10,000, and your pick 4 will be over $1,000 easy. So I'm hoping I get lucky, and I'm going to go short and see if I can maybe catch one.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to do it. Listen, Dr. Scheibel, for me, the 8 horse. I just think Flavien Prat won this race last year on Collusion Illusion. He's the regular rider for that horse. I mean, they're both owned by Glatt, right? So it's not a situation where Pratt chose the 8 because of a trainer. And I saw the interview on TVG, and Flavien Prat said, look, I just think Dr. Scheibel has more potential. I think he's coming into this race really good. He's training really well. I think he gives me the best shot to win. So I took a little swing against. The main reason is CZ Rocket goes without Lasix for the first time here. And the reason they went to Lone Star was to keep him on the Lasix last time out, because that was an odd spot for him to run. That's why. So they're having to take a risk here, taking a shot. It's a good race to try to experiment with, because he's going to have to run without Lasix if he wants to go to the Breeders' Cup. So do it right here at Del Mar. Breeders' Cup winning, you're in. We'll see. I will certainly have CZ Rocket on ticket. I'm just a little afraid about that Lasix situation with this horse. It's enough of a question mark for me. And then with Pratt jumping over to the 8 horse, I think, well, we'll take a little shot against there. So should be a good race. We're going to really find out about the sprinters on Saturday and also on Sunday as we go to the Amsterdam. Now, this will be Sunday at Saratoga for the 3-year-old sprinting. It's race 9, $200,000 purse. The Amsterdam, it is a rematch between Drain the Clock and Jackie's Warrior. They draw side by side. Who you taking in the rematch?
I mean, just because I like arguing with you, I'm going to take Drain the Clock. I mean, he already won last time. Now, and you did say something last night that I completely agree with. If Jackie's Warrior doesn't beat Drain the Clock here, in terms of beating older sprinters, the horses we literally just talked about, maybe CZ Rocket, Whitmore. This is a huge weekend for the sprinters, by the way. If you like dirt sprints, this is your weekend. If he doesn't win here, he's done in terms of beating older sprinters. Mm-hmm. I do have a feeling, though, he's probably going to level it up and make it 1-1, and hopefully maybe in the Breeders' Cup, we see these two go at it for the 3rd time. But I still will go with Drain the Clock. I think you have to use both, though. I didn't see anything in that race, the Woody Stevens back at Belmont. We were there for it. That told me Jackie's can't win. I'll just take Drain the Clock. And you know what the crazy thing is, Aaron? Because of Steve Asmussen and Joel, Jackie's will be a shorter price. I can almost guarantee you that. Yep. So if you, for whatever reason, love Drain the Clock, you're going to get a better price than Jackie's. You're probably going to get 2-1 versus even money or 6-5.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I think people will look at Jackie's Warrior and say, well, he stumbled out of the gate last time out, and that may have caused it. To me, I just don't see anybody running early with Jackie's Warrior. So if he does get out of the gate, I just think Joel gets enough separation to hold off Drain the Clock. I also, even though the last race was 7 furlongs and this is 6.5, it's not a huge difference. But when you're talking about what could come down to, a neck or a nose, that could make the difference for Jackie's Warrior. I think the shorter, the better for him. So I'll go right back to him. I can't wait. This is almost the race I'm looking forward to the most, just this rematch of these two really good horses. Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, the winner here, if it's Drain the Clock, I think, you put an end to Jackie's Warrior having a shot at the Breeders' Cup Sprint, because Drain the Clock's beat him twice. We're going to assume on the square, and then that's that. But if Jackie's Warrior evens it up, I think you exit this race and say, well, they both have a shot against the Olders once that time comes. So we'll get to see that. All right, finally, we're in the show. The last race of the day we're going to talk about. It's on Sunday at Del Mar. What race is that? It'd be race 9, the Clement L. Hirsch Grade 1. Breeders' Cup winning, you're in for the Distaff. $300,000 purse. She Dares the Devil ships out to California to face this field. I'm not inspired by this race, but I do think it's kind of tricky. Where'd you land here?
Well, here's the predicament, right? I'm not sure what, as time goes by, is actually beaten.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Santa Margarita field. great name. Didn't like the field. The Beholder Mile lost to Swiss Skydiver and then beat Golden Principle. Then Allowance, like, yeah, he actually won the Santa Maria and the Santa Margarita. Now that I'm looking at it, She Dares the Devil shouldn't have lost to Bonnie South. So in the Ogden Phipps, losing to Latruska is not that big of a deal. I actually didn't put the product together yet. I'm leaning towards She Dares the Devil. I don't feel confident in that one. That's probably a 2-horse race for me. Just going through it real quick, because I'll be honest, again, I'm going to put it fully together now. I kind of do want to see what the 1 does getting back on dirt, because we haven't seen this horse against in a stakes race in a long time. It was a Betty Grable, and then actually did have some decent races. I've given up on Venetian Harbor personally. Just not that good to me, and it doesn't look like anyone else has done in here. If I were to take a long shot, if I didn't like the 3 or 7, I think Warren Showtime would be interesting, because getting back to the dirt, just because we don't really know, hasn't been on the dirt in a long time. But I think the 3 and the 7 are 2 tiers, a legitimate 2 tiers above everyone else. So I would lean 7, 3, and then maybe the 1 for a price.
That's the like. I think the 3 and the 7 are just better. And I'm going to go with the home horse. A lot of times home track advantage does make a difference at Del Mar. I hope as time goes by loses. I really do. But I think as far as who's the most likely winner, I do think it's her. You're right, though. Who knows what she's beaten? I'm not sure. The big thing, I'm a big She Dares the Devil fan. I haven't liked those last 2 races, and obviously it's obvious why you didn't like the race last time out. Lost and got beat pretty badly. 2 races back, she won at Churchill, and I still thought, no, that wasn't great. On her best day, I think she wins, but I don't know. She might be tailing off just a bit. They may be bringing her here to kind of get an easier spot, and they found it, by the way. I think a B race for her still could possibly win, but I'm going to take a shot. I shouldn't call it a shot. I'm going to go with number 3 as time goes by. Maybe I'll jinx the horse and she'll lose. That'll be the best case scenario, because I don't want Bob Baffert winning, but
well, I think She Dares the Devil can run like a mid-90s, not time form, just 8, 0 to 100, 8 to 8, 0 to 8 plus.
Yeah.
As time goes by, can probably run a 97. Like, her best might be the best. I just don't trust her to do it. And she did beat Latruska, She Dares the Devil, this year, I think, in the Azeri. So, I mean, I wouldn't say she's tailing off. It was just one disappointing effort. What isn't enough to keep me off? Because you're right. As we talk about, as time goes by, like, you're rooting for her to lose. I don't like that horse either. And more, I think it's more so because of the connections.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the horse to begin with. I think she's a little overrated. Now that you throw in the connections part, I really don't like her. But yeah, again, I haven't dove into it entirely, like the whole sequence, because I have one more track to do for Sunday. I'm very ahead this week. One more track, and it's Del Mar. I left that one. I'll probably be doing it in half hour or so. So, but yeah, it's a good weekend. Again, if you like sprinters, this is your weekend for sure. All over the country. So should be another fun weekend before we head up there, which is again in 6 days. I'm trying
That's
to
right.
6 days.
You better be picking us up at the airport Thursday, or you're fired. That's all I gotta say. So.
If anyone wants to play Uber in Albany on next Thursday night, don't let me stop you, because Aaron and Jared will need rides. It's if you guys are up there next weekend. I don't know what our schedule is going to be show wise. When are you going to be around Thursday?
I would say
Tuesday and Wednesday you're fine.
I would say Tuesday 100%, Wednesday 100%, Thursday. If we do it early, I think I can do it. I don't know. Thursday may be a no, and then we'll do it Friday from the hotel room probably.
Yeah. So we'll be together on Friday. Maybe if Jared's awake, we can have him hop on Friday.
So yeah. So you and I will be doing it. Okay. As far as Thursday goes, 50-50.
Yeah, so we'll find that out next week. But again, 6 days to Whitney Day, which the Whitney will probably be the best race at Saratoga. That's my guess on paper, unless something changes.
Yeah.
right now it's supposed to be the best race on paper,
Yeah.
which is always nice. That's a true prep for the Breeders' Cup Classic. So it'll be a good one nonetheless.
No doubt. Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. We don't get ahead of ourselves, though, because like I said, this week's going to be really, really good as well. So a lot to look forward to. Like you said, we got a big Saturday and Sunday coming up. We got a big Friday coming up. We're only about 30 minutes away from first post at Saratoga. We're off the turf, but at least we know we're off the turf. So everybody should know who's running, and that's the good news. All right. So for Ricky, I'm going to sign off here. We'll talk to you guys next week. We'll be right back here on Wednesday. On Tuesday, recapping what happened this weekend at Saratoga. Good luck today, and good luck to everybody this weekend.